In the age of misinformation and disinformation, it's never been more important to understand how trustworthy research is. Whether you're contributing to the pool of knowledge or using information to inform your own work, markers of research integrity can help us understand how robust a piece of research information is. Back in 2017, Ripeta won a Catalyst grant and were way ahead of the curve in this particular conversation. We chatted with Leslie from Ripeta to find out more about life since winning.
So I'm Leslie McIntosh, and I am based in London now in the UK. I came in with a Catalyst grant, or with a company called Ripeta, which we can talk about the name in a minute. And I was based in the States, in St. Louis, Missouri. At the time, I had been working at Washington University School of Medicine as a faculty member there when I had this idea and put it in motion.
Can you tell us what Ripeta is about in a nutshell?
So Ripeta initially was a company that was looking at trust markers of research. Initially, we started out with looking at what elements were in a paper, a scientific paper, that could potentially be useful for reproducibility. We evolved to look at other things and how we trust science communication, and scholarly communication, to look at the transparency of elements that are in a paper, and then also check to see that, the author is trustworthy. So really, if you think about a credit check for publications, that's what we were really looking for at a very high level, right? So this is not going, at first it was definitely not going into a niche area and details such as epidemiological studies. My background's in epidemiology and public health. It was really looking at all fields.
What does the word Ripeta mean, and how does the name reflect the purpose of the tool?
Ripeta, the word, actually means please repeat in Italian. It's a polite command, and the .com was available. So two very important things: that it was initially founded on being able to reproduce studies, reproduce research, and so that's where the name came from. The company itself really stood for integrity of both being capable of doing things and being capable for many different types of people. And I bring that up because we have had a rather diverse team through time working at Ripeta, and I'm very proud of that.
Ripeta's been leading the way in utilizing AI in research integrity. Can you tell us a little bit about how it's doing that?
This was using what's now called AI to text mine, and to look at the text, understand patterns within text, all within the scholarly literature, just to be clear on that, focused on that to understand how we could trust what is written. And one of the important things I want to point out is that a lot of people are talking nowadays about how can you trust AI, but really want to talk about trust in the age of AI and think about, well, what does it mean? What does that mean? If you have open water, are you going to drink it? Are you going to just consume it? It's open and it's free. Most people would say, I think I'd like to either test to see the purity of it. I would like to filter it. I would like to see if it's what we should consume. And what the trust markers that we developed under Ripeta were to do just that. How do we trust this scholarship before we consume it? And it should be before, but we have a lot of work to do in science, and there is a little bit of cleanup to go on as well. And we can do that with these algorithms, right? And because of AI, we can both use AI to also speed up our scholarship, but also to understand trust in the age of AI as well.
What was it about the Catalyst grant that was different or particularly impactful for you?
Honestly, my engineer and I just came across it, and she asked me if we wanted to submit. We did. We hadn't realized at the time that we knew quite a few of the people at Digital Science, because it was just kind of so last minute that we did that. That being said, why was it impactful? Because basically, okay, I got a lot of no's, and everybody gets a lot of no's when they pitch their ideas, or most people do when they're first going at this. But this was a yes. This was, we want to hear more, and this was a yes. This wasn't why don't you go to education, or why don't you go to a nonprofit? This is, let's hear your idea. Talk me through this. And when we won, it really, even if it's the money helps, don't get me wrong, but it's also that you have a bit more confidence in yourself to go, wow, when someone else validates that they get your idea, it's incredible. But again, the flip side of that is, if somebody says no, it doesn't mean that it's not good either. So you kind of have to weigh it. But when someone says it's great, it's awesome.
How has Ripeta progressed since winning a Catalyst grant?
That's a very good question. And take into consideration that 2020 hit, and lockdown hit not too long after I was building up the company, had a bit of so we won the Catalyst grant in 2017. We were able to get more funding from Digital Science after that, and then 2020 hit. So we did a seed round with Digital Science, which was fantastic. We got support, we were growing our business, and then the world changed quite a bit. And what happened after that is we actually came on, it was my decision in 2020 to decide whether we were going to try for more funding or whether to go ahead and be acquired by Digital Science. And we went for the acquisition. And for the next, this is 2023. So for the next couple of years, we kept building Ripeta as Ripeta. And that is, Digital Science was a company that really was an umbrella company that fostered these smaller companies, but they started to change as well. And it became clear to me and to the team pretty quickly that the way that we would be able to make a great impact is to integrate our algorithms into an already set up database. And, thankfully for me, Digital Science also wanted to acquire me and my knowledge. So I'm able to keep growing these ideas of the taxonomy of trust. How do we trust? And honestly, the taxonomy of distrust. What does that look like? So things are evolving, but since I moved and stepped away from the technical oversight, I can give more time to the thinking of that.
What advice would you give somebody thinking of applying for a Catalyst grant?
Apply. I mean, put your pitch together and apply. A couple of things, or maybe a few, we'll see. I hadn't thought this through. One is, when you're at a Catalyst grant, you typically are at an idea. And sometimes that idea won't come to fruition for many years. What Digital Science is really good about seeing is those ideas that can be used in the future, but are early and that other people may not see them. When I started talking about this in 2017, when I started talking about research integrity in 2017, plus I'm a woman, right? Why don't you look into education? Have you considered a nonprofit? I was blown off on that. I spoke to other funders and they said, yeah, I just can't really see this. Now, 2023, research integrity is all over the place. And it gave me, I did see things ahead of time. And Digital Science saw that I saw things ahead of time. It's not enough to see things ahead of time. You also have to be a person that can bring things to fruition. And also, let's be honest, part of it is fit. So I'm answering a question that you didn't ask, so I apologize for this. Which is, what are the things that you need at Digital Science? What do you think that you need for a Catalyst grant? Is you need to submit it. And you need to go in, regardless if you're unsure, regardless if you have questions about things, do it. Now, that being said, if you're going to have documents that are shared with them, make sure everyone can access them. Do those practical things to make it easy for people to understand whatever you are that's pitching. That's just part of the deal. It's very annoying to have things not accessible when you've put so much hard work into that. So there's a very practical tip.
If you have an AI-driven idea to shake up science for the better, and you think a Catalyst grant could help turn that idea into a tangible solution for the research community, head to our website to find out more.